Hello everyone, this is a Urgot guide. Now, we will briefly discuss Urgot's strengths and weaknesses, followed by the rune and item setup, and then we will take a look at her abilities. Meanwhile, on the screen, there will be a game where we play Urgot in the mid lane with this particular build. First, look at the pros. Good pokey, always has the chance to be useful, strong 1v1 and team fights mid-game, easy to play mechanically, very strong item spikes, very strong mid-game. And now, cons. 3 abilities are skill shots, hard to press leads. Lots of losing matchups levels 3-9, can get kited hard, very level and item dependent. These are the standard runes for Urgot that are pretty good all around. There's a few adjustments I like to make depending on the matchup. The primary rune page almost never changes. I will sometimes swap press the attack with fleet footwork in situations where I'm unlikely to secure kills in lanes such as tank, ranged, or otherwise extremely challenging matchups, sacrificing damage in exchange for sustain. Press the attack. A really great rune if you want early game strength. Remember that your W purge applies procs towards press the attack, making it very easy to proc in the 1v1. Triumph! Not much to say about this rune. It can be pretty clutch in some scenarios, since you get some HP back on kills. I've had it save me a ton of times on Urgot. Legend Tenacity. I really like this rune because it just feels like so much value. Tenacity is huge on champions that need to get in the team fights and can have trouble depending on the opponent's situation and the game's composition. You can make these selections. You can choose Doran's Blade, Health Potion, and Stealth Ward as your starting items. For your early item pick, you can go for Phage and Boots. Up to 20 minutes, you can consider purchasing Black Cleaver, Profane Hydra, and Plated Steel Caps. For your full build, after getting Steerax Gauge recently, you can continue with Jackshow, the Protean and Force of Nature. Echoing Flames. Urgot has 6 legs, and each one of those holds a passive proc which hits in a cone shape. This passive is actually very strong since it's based off the target's max HP, which is why Urgot is good versus tanks as well in the late game. Your passive is also very strong to wave clear. Keep this in mind if you don't want to push. Just auto where the leg is down. Corrosive Charge. You mainly want to be using Q. Corrosive Charge to farm minions. The enemy is trying to zone you away from, or to slow them to get in range to land your E Disdain. It's also useful to land Q Corrosive Charge, so your W Purge locks onto the enemy, especially inside a minion wave. You don't want to be spamming this ability too much because the mana cost is very high for the little amount of damage it does. Purge. Use abilities to mark them so that your W Purge will focus onto them, which should be fairly easy to do. Because remember, you can use your E Disdain and Q Corrosive Charge while you're channeling this ability. The main thing you want to try to do is move around them in a circle, because it will proc your passive Echoing Flames. This ability also procs anything else that is on hit, which is why Black Cleaver and Press the Attack are so easy to stack on Urgot. Disdain! This is Urgot's main setup Engage Punish tool. Since this ability always flings them behind you, and they get stunned, it's a guaranteed way to hit your ultimate, as well as your Q Corrosive Charge. If you're in a 1v1, I almost always recommend using your E Disdain to make sure you don't miss your R Fear Beyond Death. Fear Beyond Death. This is one of my favorite abilities in the game, and one of the most satisfying ultimates in my opinion. Basically, once you get them to under 25% HP, you can pull them in for an execute, while also getting an AoE fear to slow around you after they are executed. This is crucial in team fights.